everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is a Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And that's really a big thing for me. I mean, I think some people sometimes get confused calling myself the Blue Collar Wine Guy, because what I mean by that is Blue Collar Wine Guys buy expensive wine from time to time. Not all the time, from time to time. And so whether it's a $100 bottle of wine or a $10 bottle of wine, my purpose in this program is to help you save your money. So maybe you do want to spend $75 on a bottle of wine, but it's really not worth it. Well, I'm going to tell you that in this program. I don't do a lot of those high-end wines. I did a few expensive Syrahs, well, in the $30 range. But, you know, if they're worth it, I want you to know. If they're not worth it, I want you to know. That's what I do. I've done that for a long time. I've been in retail for a long time as a wine steward, and you know, I really I get excited when I can help somebody find a really good wine. Well, obviously I like to help them under $20, but you know, even if it's in the higher range, I want to make sure that they're spending their money wisely. So we are going to do 4 red blends from Washington State. This might be my last Washington wine episode for March. I was hoping to get a few more in, but time, things happen, and I think it's number 6, so that's pretty good. I mean, 6 episodes on Washington wines in the month of March. And we covered a lot of ground, and it was really exciting to be able to interview Ashley Trout from Brook and Bull. Awesome wines, and they are worth the money. They really are. A quick shout out before we get started to some new subscribers. So I want to give a shout out to Morgan242242, new subscriber. Also Isaac Long, Palladian99, Dream Perceiver, Donald Boyle. Then we have a DOMRBP, Domer BP also. So thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy these programs. I really try. It is my goal, and I get very excited about finding great value wines. That's really my jam. But I also, like to review some wines that are a little bit more expensive and see if they're worth it. We're going to start off with the 2019 Next Red Blend from Columbia Valley, and this rolls in at $13. And they do not give the blend on here. Now, I get a little, I like them to put the blend in all my... Oh, this is a red blend. I have no idea what's in it. I like to see that on the label, but I understand, and I've mentioned this before, that it costs money to change the labels from year to year. And if you're changing your blend, you have to change the label, and, that can cost some money. But I still like to see the blend. And most of you, I know, have said that, and make a few comments on this program, too. Do you like to see the blend? Doesn't have to be percentages, just the grapes. So the color on this is reasonably dark. So I'm thinking, there's some darker grapes, like maybe a Syrah or a Cab or something like that. Could possibly be. Let's see what we get on those. Definitely currants. A little bit of chocolate coming through. And $13. Okay, that's a really good price point. Getting some blueberry notes. Just, throwing it out there. I could be wrong. I'm thinking maybe Cab Syrah at least, because of the currants and the blueberry. Maybe we can get a little black plum. I like the chocolate notes on the nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Solid acidity, so this has good structure. The tannins are a little bit edgy. I get, it's interesting, more red fruits than on the nose. That's really peculiar to me. Just goes to show the nose doesn't always reveal in the wine, even though you go to Somm class, which I did, and I've been to a few Somm sommelier tastings. They really try to get you to match the nose to the wine. It doesn't always work, in my opinion. The blueberry notes come out. I get a little blackberry. Didn't get that on the nose. Definitely get the blueberry. The currants are more of the red currant variety. The acidity is might be a little bit in the medium plus range. And the chocolate notes come through. It's calmed down a little bit from the initial attack on my palate. See what they're doing. Good balance, good structure. This is a food wine. When I say that, because of the acidity, if you have a piece of meat, like a grilled steak or a hamburger with blue cheese or something like that, this would be good with lamb as well. It will calm down the acidity. The proteins of the meat will calm it down, and it'll be a nice match. I think this is a well-made wine. I don't think it's like fantastic wine, so I'm going to go C plus B minus. It's a good wine. It's $13 is a very fair price for it, but I'm going to go C plus B minus. Above average, a little even better than above average, just a little bit. So here's an interesting producer. This is a 2019 again. Tattoo Girl red wine, Columbia Valley, and this rolls in at $15. And again, no idea what's in it, but very interesting label. We live in a time of tattoos. We do. I've never had one. I've kind of flirted with the idea, but never got a tattoo. I'm afraid of what it'll look like when I'm 85 years old. Just saying. Okay, so this one again. This one's a little lighter than the other one. Yeah, you can. It's a kind of a reddish, lighter color. If you can see that, I know you can't always see it on it. Let's see what we get on the nose. Ooh. I'm getting like a peppermint patty thing on the nose. There's chocolate, yeah, peppermint patty, right? Chocolate. There's definitely some currant action. Getting a little bit of an earthiness, like a little bit of not forest floor, but kind of dried bark thing. Getting the chocolate. Currants, and there's an interesting, yeah, it's almost like a sometimes, sometimes you're smelling a wine. And this is why it's so cool to smell wine. And I hope all of you out there, just take a little bit of time. If you don't want to do it in front of people, I get it. You don't want to be like the nerdy wine guy. But, in the privacy of your own home or wherever you're at, just take some time to smell the wine. It really enhances the experience. I get a little meat, like raw meat with marinated in currants and a little bit of chocolate sauce. I mean, it's really an interesting nose. All right, enough of that. Let's see what we get on the palate. Wow. Wow. It's a very interesting palate. You get dried currants, a little bit of herbaceousness. There's definitely chocolate. The mintiness isn't really strong, so you can't really, say that. It's minty, but there's something there. There's definitely a meaty element to the tannins, but they're fairly smooth, a little bit edgy, but not super grippy or anything like that. Chocolate notes come through. I think there's a little cranberry, just a little hint of cranberry on this one. Very interesting palate profile on this wine. It's enough to make you think, which is very cool. I like that. a little alfalfa notes on this as well, which is kind of cool. I like this wine. I think it's interesting. I think it's a thinking wine. Like, you know, when you drink it, you got to think about it. I'm trying to think of it might have a little Malbec in it. When I get that kind of alfalfa thing going on, I think Malbec. Other than that, I'm really kind of lost on what might be in it. Could be a little bit of Merlot, maybe, because it's a little softer. I think there might be some Malbec in it. I could be totally wrong. I'm just guessing here based on my experience, but I may have a little Grenache too because I'm getting a little bit of peppery thing on the backside. Wait a minute. Nope, doesn't say anything. Anyway, I like this wine. I think it's very interesting. I'm going to go B-. Hedging towards B. Let's move on. Havier Alonso from Dum Sellers. This is 2019 red wine, Columbia Valley. Once again, nothing on the back. $15. I really like Havier. He's a great winemaker. Super stoked to try this wine. All of these, really. I get excited to find cool wines, especially under 20 bucks. That really gets me worked up. Geez, man. Learn how to pour. Okay, so I made a little bit of a mess. It's all right. It's all right. Let's see. Fairly dark. This is darker than the Tattoo Girl. Really close to the next red blend. Very classic nose, dark cherries, currants. A little bit of chocolate on this one as well. I'm getting little dark red flower notes. Yeah, let's see what we get on the palate. Once again, I would call this a classic Bordeaux style blend. Good acidity, really fresh on the finish. Currants, definitely getting some blackberry currant notes on this one. Cherries. Fresh on the finish, I like that. Once again, Tattoo Girl would be more like a sit on the couch and try and figure out this wine. This would be a great wine to get a group of maybe 3 or 4 people together and say, what is this wine? That would be a cool thing to do. Dum, straightforward, steak wine, burger wine, roast beef. You could, list goes on. Actually, it's fresh enough to go with chicken, maybe with a little, you know, like Provence herbs on it. I like the structure on this wine. I like the way it's built. I like the balance between fruit and acidity. I also think the Dum would age well because of the balance between the fruit, tannins, and acid. That's a real key to aging a wine. I know acid is a big thing, but you also have to have the fruit, you have to have the tannins. The tannins here are structured, they're approachable, balanced. The acidity is nicely integrated in this wine. Yeah. And it's not because I know Havier Alonso. You know, I just call it like I see it. I don't think everybody will like this wine. I don't think if you want to sit down and watch one of your series on TV, something that you enjoy watching, I wouldn't sit down and have this unless you have a plate of cheese. This would be really good with some stinky cheese, some really nice hard, sharp cheddar cheese would be really good with this wine. I'm going to go straight up B. I think $15 so far. We've done really well. I think the next, you know, kind of but the other two pretty good. Let's move on. Dum Sellers, you know, longtime Washington wine producer. Eric Dunham passed away a few years ago. That was sad. He was younger. Yeah. 2021. Three-legged red from Dum Sellers. Washington State, Appalachian. This rolls in at $18. Okay. I think Jeremy is now the winemaker there. Really interesting guy, very younger, but good winemaker. Very good winemaker. I've been impressed with his stuff. 2021. Now, just a little heads up to you guys, a little insight. If you watched my Ashley Trout interview just a couple episodes ago, I'd encourage you to watch it. I've watched it 3 times, and that's rare for me because I don't like to really listen to myself. But it was a great interview, and she gave it a little insight into the 2022 vintage, which gets me kind of excited because I like to collect wines from good vintages. Not collect, store away a few to drink later. Again, the blend is not on here, which kind of disappoints me. So 4 wines striking out here on the blend. So fairly dark, pretty dark. I mean, this might be close to the darkest of the bunch. Kind of a purplish black color. Let's see what we get on the nose. So I'm getting hints of chocolate, definitely currant notes. A little bit of plum, black plum. Dark cherries. So I like the nose on this one. It's you get kind of a more of a luscious nose, if that makes any sense to you. A deeper, kind of more complex nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Once again, I'm a little pissed off here because the $18 wine is showing the best. Although this tattoo girl was extremely interesting, and Pullman is like stellar, ageable wine at $15. In fact, I'm going to tuck away a couple of those just to find out what happens maybe 5 years from now when if I'm still doing YouTube. That'd be cool to really see where that's going. Anyway, back to the Dunham three-legged red. The story behind that three-legged red is evidently he saved this dog from a coyote attack, and the dog had 3 legs, and so he saved the dog, which is really cool. And the dog lived on in the vineyards and in the winery and lived a ripe old age. So, let's get back to the wine. Currant notes. The acidity keeps it fresh in the mouth, but it's very balanced, integrated. Definitely currant notes. Definitely, there's just a hint of like a bittersweet chocolate. I'm getting a little plum, ripe black plum notes. Even red flowers, like a little darker red flowers on this one. Yeah, I mean, this is a wine, and we talk about this a lot. This is a wine where they call it a cocktail wine, and you can just sit down on your couch and drink it without food. Although this would benefit from food greatly. We've been selling a lot of this at the store. And so I was really excited to be able to try this on this episode because it's like, why is this wine just like going off the shelf crazily? I understand why. Well built, nice integration, good balance, and $18, $2, not bad. So I say $17.99 on the shelf. The tannins are a little sweeter, but not sweet. The wine is not sweet. It finishes dry. I'm going to go B plus A minus. That's a solid wine for $18, and I really think it's a good value. Actually, all of these are good values, but this is a winner. B plus A minus. Pullman red wine, and the next wine, if you just have to have it with food. Just saying. much better that way. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for taking a little time out of your day. Thanks to the new subscribers. That means a lot. It does. It means a lot to me. And I hope, make some comments on your favorite red blends under $20. How do you feel about the producer putting the grapes on the back, whether it's percentages or not? Do you like that or not? I just like to get input, because I'm in the biz. I'm selling wine to people at the store, not my store, but I work for somebody, and I like to know this thing. This really helps me. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars.